Many people fear the sight of snakes, let alone being close to them. However, not all types of snakes deserve this level of fear. It is rare to find them in urban areas around the world, let alone in large quantities in one area. However, there is one place in the world that some describe as a real-life nightmare and one of the most dangerous natural places on Earth, without question. The island of Ilha da Queimada Grande, known as Snake Island, promises any human who enters it a painful death amidst a terrifying journey. There is nothing worse than finding yourself trapped on an island full of snakes with no one around. Surprisingly, despite the ban on entering the island and the danger of being on its land, there are still those who attempt to sneak onto it in hopes of gaining wealth from it if they can get out alive at all. It is hard to imagine that one of the most dangerous places on Earth is also one of the most beautiful. An island covered in greenery amidst the waters, it is located 55 kilometers off the Brazilian coast and covers an area of 430,000 square meters. When you look at it from afar, you are captivated by its beauty and wish to spend a holiday there with your loved ones. But the reality is that the island's appearance is extremely deceptive, and the holiday you would spend there would be the worst and possibly the last of your life. The warning signs are supposed to be enough to keep people away from the island, and if the signs are not enough or not understood, the island's inhabitants are sufficient to deter you from it as soon as you set foot on it. The only inhabitants of the island are a group of the world's most dangerous snakes, numbering up to 4,000. These enormous numbers of snakes are not concentrated in one area of the island, but are spread all over it, hidden on the ground and among its trees. Some estimates suggest that it is difficult for any visitor to walk 3 steps on the island without encountering a snake in front of them. Near the center of the island, at an elevation above all its trees, there is a lighthouse built in the early 20th century to guide ships away from the island. Initially, it was operated manually and required a permanent worker on the island to operate it until it became an automated lighthouse, leading to the departure of the last human resident from the island. Since then, the Brazilian authorities have banned entry to the island without a permit. When you talk to Brazilian residents, especially those from São Paulo, the closest city to the island's location, you will hear terrifying stories and legends about Snake Island. These include attempts by several fishermen to enter the island, after which no one ever heard from them again, as if they had vanished. Other stories involve pirates who are said to have brought the snakes to the island to protect a vast hidden treasure, and the story of a fisherman who was found in his boat near the island with his flesh melted off his body and lying in a pool of blood. Whether these stories are true or myths meant to deter people from entering the area, the island itself is terrifying enough without any tales. The venomous snakes that inhabit the island and are the reason for its notoriety are the golden lancehead vipers. This type of pit viper is the most dangerous of its kind and one of the most dangerous snakes globally. A small amount of its venom, barely enough to fill a teaspoon, can kill 3 to 5 people. This type of snake exists only on this island, and its yellowish-brown color allows it to blend easily into its surroundings among the tree branches on the ground without being noticed. The length of the snake ranges from 70 centimeters to 118 centimeters, with females generally being longer than males. Their diet mainly consists of birds, along with lizards, and sometimes they even eat each other. The snake's venom is unimaginably strange and frightening, containing a bizarre mix of different toxins that target almost everything in the body. Surprisingly, despite the danger and widespread presence of the snakes on the island, there are still those who try to sneak into it instead of staying away from it as much as possible. The reason for this is the dream of quick wealth. As we agreed, the golden lancehead viper exists nowhere else in the world except on this island, making it extremely valuable on the black market, especially among those obsessed with owning rare animals. Anyone who can enter the island, catch a snake, and leave safely could make a huge fortune. The price of a single snake on the black market can exceed $50,000. This raises the question, why is this area so densely populated with snakes? With the rise in sea levels thousands of years ago and the island's separation from the mainland, there were no predators on the island alongside the snakes, leading to their rapid population increase until they reached their current rate and literally took over the island. Their isolation in the island environment and their reliance on birds for food have led them to adapt to this situation, and their venom potency has increased tremendously. The venom of this snake is 5 times stronger than that of its pit viper relatives, which are responsible for 90% of all snakebite cases in Brazil. So why do Brazilian authorities leave such a beautiful island occupied by snakes? Why don't they try to rid the island of their evil and make use of it for tourism, for example? The answer to this question is somewhat strange because, in reality, the authorities and the scientific community in general are trying to preserve the lives of these snakes and ensure their continued survival in large numbers. If you fear snakes like most people and have no interest in them, there are important reasons driving the scientific community to care about their health and future. This type of snake can be a contributing factor in combating serious human diseases. Besides using its venom to produce antivenoms for snake bites, the golden lancehead's venom is used to develop new medications to prevent blood clotting. There are already drugs on the market for high blood pressure patients that were produced using this type of snake's venom. It is amazing how one of the most dangerous snakes on Earth is a cause for developing essential medications for human survival instead of being a reason for their demise. While it is one of the most dangerous natural places in the world, it is unexpectedly one of the most important and very significant sources for producing and developing medications. Although the golden lancehead vipers prevent Brazilians and foreigners from enjoying the island's beauty and splendor, it remains one of the world's most famous islands and one of Brazil's most well-known landmarks that no one dares to approach. That's it. And don't forget, if you want to suggest an episode, write to us in the comments. Most of the episodes we make now come from your comments. Goodbye.